1800 hours, Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Aisha Nayab. First, the headlines. Prime Minister has given clear instructions to take all measures to prevent rise in prices of wheat, flour, sugar and pulses, as these commodities are essential items for any poor family. Briefing media in Islamabad this afternoon, Imran Khan said new master plans for all big cities of Pakistan will be prepared to prevent unplanned spread of urbanization and to protect agri-land. Talking to Japanese ambassador in Islamabad today, Foreign Minister invited Japanese investors to benefit from investment opportunities in Pakistan in diverse sectors. Pakistan has strongly condemned extrajudicial killing of 3 more innocent Kashmiris in yet another fake encounter by Indian occupation forces in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, complete shutdown will be observed tomorrow to condemn the killing of innocent youth in fake encounters by Indian troops. Pakistan Cricket Board has announced a 17-member women's squad for ODI and T20 series against South Africa. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has given clear instructions to take all measures to prevent a rise in prices of wheat, flour, sugar and pulses, as these commodities are essential items for any poor family. He was chairing weekly review meeting of priority areas in Islamabad today. The Prime Minister also emphasized on taking steps to increase exports and find local alternatives to imports to further increase current account surplus and to avoid pressure on foreign exchange reserves. During the meeting, the Prime Minister granted approval to online agri dashboard prepared by National Security Division, which will monitor availability of edible items, stock and their prices at the national, provincial and district level. Briefing media in Islamabad this afternoon, Prime Minister has said new master plans of all big cities of Pakistan will be prepared to prevent unplanned spread of urbanization and to protect agri-land. He said unplanned spreads of cities can create food security problems in the country in future if this practice is continued unabated. The Prime Minister said economic activities of around 1,500 billion rupees will be started in Punjab only and will generate around 250,000 jobs as a result of massive package announced by the government for the construction sector. He said so far 186 construction projects have been registered at FPR portal, while work on projects worth 163 billion rupees has already begun. Imran Khan said banks have reserved 378 billion rupees for December 2021 to support the construction sector. Minister for Information and Broadcasting Shibli Faraz says Prime Minister Imran Khan has set the direction right for economic progress of the country by taking bold decisions. In a series of tweets today, he said a new phase of decisive struggle will begin in January next year under the leadership of Imran Khan to resolve people's problems. Shibli Faraz said 2020 was a difficult year at a global level as the coronavirus pandemic shocked the health systems and economies across the world. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has invited Japanese investors to invest in Pakistan in various fields. Talking to Japanese ambassador to Pakistan, Kinori Matsuda, in Islamabad today, he said there are diverse opportunities to promote bilateral relations in agriculture, industry, low-cost housing and environmental protection. The Foreign Minister said Pakistan is making all-out efforts to promote tourism in the country and will welcome Buddhist tourists visiting their holy sites. On the occasion, the Japanese ambassador appreciated Pakistan's effort for peace and stability in the region, including peace in Afghanistan. He reiterated Japan's commitment to further expand its ties with Pakistan in diverse sectors. Interior Minister Sheikh Rashid Ahmed has lauded the role of frontier constabulary to curb the menace of terrorism and maintain law and order in the country. Addressing the personnel of Frontier Constabulary in Peshawar today, he said, "The nation will always remember the sacrifices rendered by the security personnel for peace in the country." Sheikh Rashid Ahmed said that an increase in martyrs package for Frontier Constabulary will be announced soon. He also assured the Frontier Constabulary personnel of resolving their issues on priority basis. Minister for Science and Technology Chaudhry Fawad Hussain has said the Cabinet Committee has decided to initially purchase 1.2 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine from the Chinese company Sinopharm. In a tweet, he said the purchased vaccine doses will be provided free of cost to the frontline workers in the first quarter of New Year. Fawad Chaudhry said that the private sector is also allowed to import any internationally approved vaccine on its own. This is Radio Pakistan. China and Pakistan have reaffirmed to work closely to promote China-Pakistan Economic Corridor's positive contributions. This resolve was expressed at the second meeting of CPEC Joint Working Group on International Cooperation and Coordination at Urumqi, China. The meeting was co-chaired by Foreign Secretary Suhail Mahmood and Chinese Vice Foreign Minister Lao Zhihui and reviewed the progress of the JWG since its inaugural meeting held in April last year in Beijing. Both sides were also unanimous to encourage think tanks, media and opinion makers to understand and examine CPEC as a case study for international cooperation, economic development and people-to-people exchanges. Pakistan has strongly condemned extrajudicial killing of 3 more innocent Kashmiris in yet another fake encounter by Indian occupation forces in illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Foreign Office spokesperson Zahid Hafiz Chaudhry in a statement reiterated Pakistan's call for independent inquiry under international security to investigate the unabated extrajudicial killings of Kashmiris by Indian occupation forces and to bring the perpetrator of these heinous crimes to justice. During the year 2020, in their brazen acts of state terrorism, the Indian occupation forces martyred more than 300 innocent Kashmiris, including women and children, in fake encounters and staged cordon and search operations. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, complete shutdown will be observed tomorrow to condemn the killing of innocent youth in fake encounters by Indian troops. According to Kashmir Media Service, call for the strike has been given by the All Parties Hurriyat Conference. Anti-India and pro-freedom protest demonstration will be held after Friday prayers. At the United Nations during the year 2020, Pakistan's key objective remained highlighting the continued military siege and massive human rights violation in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. In a video message, Pakistan's permanent representative to the United Nations, Munir Akram, said the legal, political and moral case for Kashmiri's freedom struggle was laid out and Pakistan's sponsored resolution on the people's to self-determination was unanimously adopted by the General Assembly. In Bosnia-Herzegovina, about 900 migrants from South Asia and other regions are facing up bitter cold temperatures at a burned-out camp after being denied proper shelter. They remained at Lipa, a camp gutted by a fire last week in country's northwest, amid a dispute over moving them to a military barrack. In Afghanistan, 19 fighters, including 17 militants and 2 security personnel, were killed in a cleanup operation in northern Badakhshan province today. Brexit became a reality today as Britain left Europe's customs union and single market, ending nearly half a century of often turbulent ties with its closest neighbours. Prime Minister John Boris, a key Brexit architect, said that Britain's destiny now resides firmly on our hands, shortly after members of Parliament approved his trade deal and with the EU. The Women International Selection Committee of Pakistan Cricket Board has announced a 17-player squad for ODI and T20 series against South Africa. Javeria Khan will be the captain of the team. The team will play first one day in Durban on 20th of next month. And finally, the weather. Cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, weather will remain very cold in Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, North Balochistan, Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.